What's going on, everyone? It is another day, which means it is another stream of me drafting a Best Ball Mania team. I'm in a lobby right now, just a couple more teams to join. So let's do this. Still waiting on two people until this Best Ball Mania draft is filled. I did one earlier today. This will be number 2 of the day. That looks like it just filled. Maybe some of you got in this. I did one earlier today, and it was probably the worst Best Ball Mania team that I drafted all year. All right, I'm in the 108 spot. Could be worse. I'm so sick of drafting in the 112. I think it's just by far the worst spot this year. 111, you can sometimes get like a Puka. 112, it's rough. It's rough unless someone falls, like a Garrett Wilson or something. But I had one today that was brutal. The other thing I'm noticing is, actually, I'm going to check and make sure my volume settings are good. Yeah, it's good. The other thing that I'm noticing is we're seeing a lot of quarterbacks go a little bit high. Like I anticipated this happening. I've been talking about it on Becoming a Best Ball Bro for a few weeks. Quarterbacks seem to be going a little bit earlier. Draft to draft is not super consistent, but there are some drafts where, earlier today I got screwed partially because I needed a third quarterback. I needed a backdoor. I was going to either go with Carolina or Denver. I figured one of Bryce Young or Bo Nix would fall to me in the 17th and into the 18th. They did not. All starting quarterbacks were gone by the 18th round. And you don't always see that. And one of the teams that got Bo Nix, or the team that got Bo Nix, had Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy. So it's just one of those things where you get some unpredictability. And I think the longer, I almost feel safer about, going with one of the early round quarterbacks or like middle round quarterbacks or something like that. Hope everyone's doing well. Feel free to ask away any questions you might have as this thing's going on. Nothing crazy so far. This is completely chalky. I guess we'll go Brees. Kind of want to go with AJ Brown, but we'll go Brees. Start with a running back. Get that anchor. It's completely chalky so far, though. I'm hoping the back half gets a little weird. But this is complete chalk thus far. Breaking news, TJ Hawkinson is ahead of schedule. I am shocked. Yeah, of course I'm just waiting for a team to say that an ACL recovery is behind schedule. Scott also says, I had back-to-back 112 the other day. I was on tilt the entire second draft. Yeah, it's tough. This draft is total chalk so far. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I drafted some teams over the weekend. Some were good. I drafted I'm officially past the halfway point with the Best Ball Mania entries. I posted one to Twitter over the weekend, or maybe it was yesterday, of the halfway point. I feel like there's not a lot of people talking today in chat. Usually there's a lot more. Marvin Harrison and Drake London at the turn, which is a popular turn. I did that earlier today. I hated my team with a passion, like I said. I also think it's just not super necessary. I don't know how much ADP is going to really shift with Best Ball Mania by the time Monday meetings got everyone tied up. Yeah, evidently. I usually do these on Wednesday, but I'm trying to do it every day and get more of these streams in. All right, let's just go to the other screen. So Jahmyr Gibbs is still there. I think we got to go Gibbs and just have an RB start and get kind of weird with it. Nice hair day, King light mode. My hair is kind of wild right now, man. I haven't gotten a haircut in a while. AJ Brown or Garrett Wilson at 10 this year. I like AJ Brown more. I'm heavily leaning elite quarterback over elite tight end. What are your thoughts on the two? I like elite tight end a little bit more. Um, but I'm not against elite quarterback, obviously. It just depends on sort of the flow of the draft. Those kinds of questions, it's kind of hard for me because I'm doing a lot of drafts. Like this is probably like draft. If I mean, not even counting the pre-NFL drafts. This is probably draft like 400. So it's hard for me to say like I definitely like going this route or definitely like going that route. It just depends on kind of the flow of the draft. Walking dogs right now, but I'm listening. Good luck. Thank you. As if Green Bay wide receivers weren't confusing enough, now we don't know who will be throwing them the ball. What is that? Is that related to Jordan Love and his hold in that I read about earlier today? Brees and Gibbs is kind of fun. I don't know what the heck's going to happen the rest of this draft, but that's a fun little start. I mean, clearly I'm like, this is going to be a 4 or 5 running back build. I'm not going to draft one for a while. I like though, see like when this happens, when I get running backs early like this, it's nice that like Saquon went ahead of Jameer, so that pushes a wide receiver back. Jonathan Taylor went, and then you get HN, then Kyron Williams going where he went, because Williams will sometimes fall to this spot where I'm at. And so we need more running backs to get, like, I hope Derrick Henry gets drafted before I go, just so I get a wide receiver to fall. But I'm open to any of these wide receivers. I'll probably just go by ADP. There goes Diggs. I don't think I'm going to get Pittman, though, I should say. What's Detroit looking like again? Buffalo, Chicago, San Francisco. So DJ Moore would work. And there he goes. I know Pittman's there. I've been taking Tank Dell ahead of him pretty consistently. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that again. We see Pittman fall, I feel like, more frequently. Could just go really weird and get Derrick Henry. This opens things up, though, to Stroud in the 7th as well. We'll see what the 4th round looks like. We got to probably go wide receiver pretty heavy here. Are you going to go wide receiver in the next 3 out of the 4 rounds, you think, or does it depend on? Yeah, I think I have to. Like I'm not really considering, you know, there's going to be like one of those like fast forward moments here, but I'm you know, I'm not going to get a quarterback in round 4, which means, you know, even if I go tight end in round 5, which I still don't think is probable, but if I go tight end in round 5, I won't feel, you know, he won't be like a stack or anything. Josh Allen going 311, that's good, because it would hurt to see Allen sitting there in the 4th with Brees. Derrick Henry at 312 is nice value. Go back to the other screen. So Detroit has Buffalo, Chicago, San Francisco. The Jets get Jacksonville, the Rams, and Buffalo. So I could go Christian Kirk next, and that opens things up a lot for later stacks. That's what I keep on doing, though, is Jacksonville. I have so much Jacksonville, and Tennessee too. So yeah, I think we just go like Amari or T. Let's just go Amari. Cleveland, no correlation really, but we just need the piece. I like getting some stability though too. I mean, we know that Amari Cooper's solid. High T start for the kid. It is a high T start. This is a weird team. Could be fun though. But yeah, Amari Cooper opens things up week 15 against Kansas City. We got some wide receiver options for the Chiefs in the 5th. You know, we could hypothetically go George Kittle in the 6th with Jahmyr Gibbs. The Jets get Jacksonville, Rams, Buffalo, like I said. Yeah, we'll see. I don't really have, I'm just thinking wide receiver first and foremost. And then we'll see how we can bring it together. Andrews was the one tight end that I would have probably taken had he fallen. I mean, I could go Kincaid too because of the Brees Hall correlation. I just don't want to fall behind a wide receiver. Kincaid just went too, so that makes it easy. So we're probably going wide receiver, and I'm probably just going to go in order of ADP here. I might skip Jaden Reed. I know there's some the stuff that he's going on that's going on with him. I understand is nothing, but I usually only get Reed in this range. Usually, when I get like Jefferson, I have enough Reed. Is what I'm basically saying. Josh Jacobs goes 504. I had an issue earlier, last or on Saturday, yesterday or Saturday. I was on a walk, and here I'm gonna wait till I make this pick. Um, I guess I'll just tell it. I was on a walk, and I opened the app, and it accidentally flipped to my. All right, we're gonna go Hollywood. We get Kansas City. Kansas City gets Houston, right? Yeah, and in week 16, Kansas City also gets. I'm just gonna draft them. Um, so Kansas City gets Houston in week 16. They also get Cleveland in week 15. So we get a little bit of playoff correlation with Hollywood alongside, Tank and Amari. But yeah, so I opened the app and I go to make a pick. Man, Kittle went early. I go to make a pick and I thought I was on ADP, but it flipped to rank. I guess it does that sometimes whenever you like close the app and open it back up. And I accidentally took Josh Jacobs like 10 picks above ADP. The team ended up being okay enough. And I did the same thing the following day with Travis Etienne. The Etienne pick was bigger because I got him in the third on accident. I mean, I don't have a ton of ETN, so I guess it was good for diversification. The team ended up being okay because I got a big Jacksonville stack out of it. But yeah, I mean, it was apparently user error, but I got to just take it slow whenever I'm trying to make a pick like that. So yeah, I like, I've got Stroud potentially in the 7th with Tank. I've got, Deshaun Watson late. Would you ever go three elite running backs in the first 5 rounds? Or are you worried you'd fall behind? I just worry that I'd fall behind. But I mean, in the 6th year, I could go Mixon and get a Houston stack going because Stroud has been falling. There goes Ridley. Like I wouldn't mind Mixon and having a 4 running back build. Makes it interesting. What's going on, Kevin? Good to see you. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I'm pretty open. There goes Mixon. I think we got to just go wide receiver. There goes Worthy. I might go here. I have a lot of DeAndre Hopkins. Like a lot. We have no correlation really with Godwin, but it does open us up to a later round stack potential. If it's not Godwin, I could go with the Bears with a Dunze. I think we go Godwin. I also kind of like getting. I mean, this is more subjective in nature, but I don't mind getting sort of like these like Tank Dell going first on my team as my first wide receiver. There's a little bit more volatility with him. And then the next 3 gets these veterans where we kind of like their situations enough. We know that they can produce, they can give us something with that running back start. I don't mind that. But yeah, Godwin sets up Carolina late as well. Like you said. And really a lot of it too is like if I'm the thing that you can run into is if you stack teams, like if I were to get like let's say Xavier Worthy fell and I got Xavier Worthy again because I already had Hollywood Brown and I wanted this like Kansas City stack. Part of the problem in doing that is you're not getting Mahomes, and so you're using a roster spot on a player that you're not going to be stacking quarterback with, and that can kind of limit you a little bit, down the stretch of the draft. That is, I like to at least have some flexibility. We'll see if Stroud falls. I'm guessing he won't fall. Where did Nico go? Let's look up here. Nico went over here. Stephon Diggs is right here. So this is the team that we're really looking out for. Is this E Wallace 99? There goes Kyler. The fact that Kyler went above Stroud, that might psychologically tell that person, hey, we got to get a quarterback right now because they're going a little bit earlier than normal. So this to me would be, if this person doesn't go Stroud, then Stroud will be ours. But I think they will because they already have five wide receivers. Stroud makes a lot of sense for this team. Like a lot of sense. We'll see though. Oh, wow. So we'll see if Stroud goes here. All right. That's why you got to play the CJ Stroud game, because people are not taking him at ADP. Just so you guys are fully aware. So we have Stroud. We can go Schultz later if we want to get more than just tank. We can go Noah Brown in the last round if we want to. But yeah, I'm glad that we played quarterback that way. And I'm glad that we have a quarterback like that, because it's been rough in the quarterback streets recently. It's nice to just have one like locked in. You know, it could be a like if I get Stroud and Deshaun Watson, I think I'm good. You know, Stroud and Baker, I think I can play that. If it's Stroud and like Bryce Young, I'm not as thrilled. But yeah, the next pick is almost definitely going to be running back, just because of the way the board sits. So, you know, maybe we go here. You guys have seen me take Najee Harris so much, or Jonathan Brooks. Actually, Jonathan Brooks would be really fun. Okay, there he goes. Najee's a fine backup to Jonathan Brooks, because you got Najee with Hollywood Brown right there. And Pittsburgh gets Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City. If we had a Baltimore piece to correlate with CJ, like if we get Rashad Bateman later with CJ Stroud and Tank Dell for week 17, Brooks would have been fun for this build, because you get Breece, Jameer, and then the upside, you have the insulation of the first half of the season. You already have Chris Godwin. Like that would have been a nice pick for the build for sure. But yeah, I mean, we're only looking at one more running back, I think. Like this could be a 4 running back build if I get it at the right time. I really want to get Njoku, I think, next. But we'll see. How do you feel about Hubbard? I'm not high or low. I should say I'm probably a little bit lower on him. I've gotten him, I got him in the draft that I posted to wow, I can't talk right now. I got him in the draft that I posted to Twitter. A lot of times my brain just thinks ahead of my mouth and my voice. But he, to me, I think people were sort of anointing him as like, he's going to be a bell cow without Jonathan Brooks. My fear is like Miles Sanders is still like, what if they just like Miles Sanders a little bit more? Like it's a whole new coaching staff. When there's a whole new coaching staff being introduced to a team, we can't assume that the previous regime's way that they divvied up the backfield is going to be the same way that the current coaching staff is going to divvy up the backfield. Do I think Chuba Hubbard's better than Miles Sanders? Yes. I talked about that all last season on my podcast. Like I had Miles Sanders as a fade, all of that. So like, yes, I do think Hubbard is a better player than Miles Sanders. Now, with that being said, I don't know what they think, and that's important. I haven't drafted Sanders because I don't think he's very good. But again, we just when it comes to running backs, it comes down to coaching decisions. You know, like that matters. Hopefully these two teams don't take a tight end. I really do. I think Njoku would fit this build well. But we'll see what they end up doing. This team already took Bowers, reached for Bowers. This team took Laporta. So again, it comes down to E. Wallace. E. Wallace, man, not doing what I would be doing. Not to say it's a bad team. It's just taking a different approach than I would be taking. So let's see. If I'm not able to get Njoku, I'll probably get like Shaheed. Okay. I like Njoku here. You get Njoku with Amari Cooper. We can get Deshaun Watson later. Bring back for Cleveland is Miami for week 17, but Cleveland also gets Kansas City, like I said. There's Cincinnati as well. Someone's asking about Cam Akers. I know it's very early and presumptuous, but any worries for Mixon, and would you take a dart throws on Akers? I don't know if Akers will make the team. So no, I wouldn't be that I wouldn't go that route. I like here's the thing. In situations like this, you have to ask yourself, okay, let's say Cam Akers gets some steam and you know he's going to make the team. Like, you know for sure he'll be on the team. Maybe Jawar Johnson is the one, or why am I, that's his last name, right? I've never actually said it out loud. I even wrote his profile in Jawar Jordan. My God, I just had a brain fart. I even wrote his profile in the prospect guide. Like I know a decent amount about him. I just had a blank. But let's say Jawar Jordan gets cut or is expected to not make the team. And then, Dameon Pierce is Dameon Pierce. He'll probably still be on the team. And they're like, oh, Cam Akers is going to be the 3. Okay, where does he, or even the 2, where does he go in these drafts? Considering, I don't think Jordan is special enough to be a consistent fantasy asset. Let me pick here first. This is such a dead part of the draft, man. Like, I kind of want a wide receiver to just, we could just finish things off, right? At running back with a quorum type, Devin Singletary. I just hate these. I hate these players. Could go Brandon Cooks. You guys have any favorites here? I might go quorum. This is where I'm at, just to like get the 4th and have the upside and just end it at 4. That's what I'm doing, I guess. All right. So, yeah, Jawar Jordan, who I called Johnson or something earlier. He's an undersized guy. He didn't have really great college production in my model, and he wasn't an uber athlete. I just have a hard time believing that he's going to like see a significant workload as a day 3 guy. Quorum over Gus, Bus, and Singletary is interesting. I don't need floor really with this lineup. I'm looking for ceiling. I mean, I'm usually looking for ceiling, but Quorum's a fun upside play who I think is going to have some standalone value regardless. I think the split between Quorum and Kyron is going to be closer. Not that he's going to take over, but I think it's going to be closer than what people are projecting. But now I really got to think about wide receiver, like badly. I could have reached for Judy, I guess, in the last round. Could have gone Jerome Ford. I mean, the Quorum pick is probably going to be the one that we look back on and we're like, yeah, that was kind of weird. But it was just a dead spot in the draft. Here's Schultz. If I go Schultz, we can probably be done at tight end. This is going to be a team where I get 9 wide receivers, and they're going to be mostly late round guys after these 4. It's definitely going to be a different build. Do you believe in the running back dead zone? Yes, I've written extensively and talked about it a lot on my show, in my draft guide. The problem with the running back dead zone is that people misunderstand it to think about, they think about rounds, right? So like, oh, the running back dead zone doesn't exist in best ball drafts. And it's like, no, it still does. It still does. It's just not as pronounced. And the opportunity cost is different, right? Like, it's not very significant in these drafts because look at this board. The standard running back dead zone is usually like RB 18 to RB 25 to 26. It doesn't matter as much in best ball either, in my opinion, just because you can get some usable weeks out of these guys. It's not about like the predictability aspect and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, I mean, I think the dead zone exists everywhere, every single year. The dead zone is about inferior running backs, talent wise, who we're projecting to slide into these like RB1 roles by volume, and they don't get that volume because they're inferior talents. We're going to go Dalton Schultz. I don't have much Dalton Schultz, but he's in a stack. That's fine, right? And Njoku and Schultz is fine. Maybe we get one super, super late if we want to. I think the dead zone is different in best ball drafts, though, because the gap between like RB low end RB1s to RB2s to RB, it's not very it's not or it is relatively dramatic, whereas it's not going to be in your home leagues and such. All right, we got to start thinking wide receivers here. We could go here to open things up with Godwin for week 17. Jalen Polk just went. Oh, we can do this too. We can stack. Let's do this. Let's stack the Jets and open things up for an Aaron Rodgers stack. Do I love Mike Williams? No. Do I not mind him? 10 picks after ADP? That's fine. Will he play 7 games? Probably. So yeah, we'll have quarterback Rodgers, Watson, Baker are the 3 that we got to watch. Haven't gotten a ton of Mike Williams, though. Maybe it's a mistake. Who knows? I mean, when active, he should, have at least some touchdown equity. In an offense that's going to improve with Rodgers. I mean, regression's going to hit that offense, too. Problem is, I always like this range for running back. I always get like one of them per draft, like the McLaughlin types, and I gotta pass on it this draft. Unless you guys think I should go one more. I just don't think it's necessary or as necessary. The 3, I don't mind the idea of going 3 tight ends with the third one being Jonnu Smith. That could be kind of fun to get the correlate if I get Deshaun Watson. What's your most popular stack right now? I feel like I have too much Andrews Lamar. I have a decent amount of Andrews Lamar. Probably Levis, DeAndre Hopkins, and then Trevor Lawrence, and the plethora of the Jacksonville wide receivers. I really like that game. I think both of those offenses are undervalued. I've been going with a lot of Tennessee for sure. I think I might push it a little bit with the quarterbacks. Maybe go with like Jermaine Burton. Just kidding. Maybe go Demario Douglas. Let's see if I can predict what people are going to do. Not much correlation with that, but could go Pearsall. Let's go Pearsall, actually, because we have Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's go Pearsall. You got some outs, right? If we're going to go 9 wide receivers here, we can afford to be a little weird. Or 8, maybe 8 wide receivers. I end up stacking Bucks a lot. Yeah, I can see that. It's a nice, easy, cheap stack. I think next round we got to try to go Deshaun. I just saw Aaron Rodgers did go before I picked. I didn't even notice that. I probably should have forced it with Watson. I think Judy went on the other side of the draft, though. Yeah, he went over here, and that team already has 2. Hopefully people are not going to screw me. Mike Evans is over here too. Right here. So that's good for Baker. But I think Watson, I'm cool with Stroud and Watson. I'm higher than most on Watson this year. I think they're going to spread it out a lot more and throw the ball a decent bit. And also, he had a top 12 rate of scoring 20-plus points last year whenever you remove the game, was it against Indianapolis, where he barely played? Like, he was not great, but he also still has some mobility and ability that way. All right. So Stafford's at the top ADP wise. If this guy wants to, yeah, I mean, he's got Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert. Let's not get weird. All right. We'll go Deshaun. So we got Deshaun and the guy who replaced Deshaun. Kind of. Deshaun's back with his old team in the stack. Kind of like this team. If the Browns' end of season play is any indication of the scheme this year, well, they also changed offensive coordinator. You got Ken Dorsey there now, who is a pretty pass heavy offensive coordinator. Like we saw that in Buffalo. And every move that they've sort of made has indicated that. And then Nick Chubb is banged up. Like there's a lot of reasons, I think, to believe that they're going to be more pass heavy this year. They got Jerry Jeudy, et cetera, et cetera. We can get Elijah Moore late if we want to. I got to take this off. I don't need another quarterback. So let's start thinking about, we could go Corley and get some more Jets. We could go Demarcus Robinson to pair him with Blake Corum. Jalen McMillan to get more Buccaneers. Might go Khalif Raymond last round, who I think is just a guy who will get some production. And then I also want to make sure, I might reach for Jonnu next, because this is a range, 15th round is where I start to like not really care that much about ADP. I'm not super high on Dalton Schultz. I like him for the stack, but going with Jonnu is nice to get a little bit more out of your tight ends while also having the week 17 bring back. I just drafted Levis. Oh, wow, that was weird because that person just drafted Levis too. We're going to go Jonnu here. I just drafted Levis over Watson in a super flex startup. I still believe in the Watson upside, but I got scared. Yeah, I get it. All right. So I think we're set at quarterback. We're set at tight end. Running back, I'm cool with just sticking with the 4. We're looking at outcomes of these guys hitting. So this could be wide receiver finish. Unless we really like, Deontay Foreman at the end or something like that, which I think is fine. But if we just get volume at wide receiver here, just pile on players, that's a good thing. Bateman was that guy I forgot that we wanted to look at as a bring back. Really should have thought about that with the last pick. We'll see. Maybe he falls for some reason. Where's the Lamar drafter? Yeah, Lamar drafter's after us. Maybe not. We'll see. If not, it's not the end of the world. We'd also go like Nelson Aguilar in the last round. Maybe 3 tight end for this build. I did 3 tight end. I got Jonnu Smith last round. I don't think we're going to get Bateman the way that, he's just sitting on top. Like this is probably the team that gets bit. George Kittle, Cole Kmet, Cade Otton. Is there correlation going on here? A little bit of correlation. Let's see. They definitely aren't going running back. Maybe they're just Bateman haters though. All right, we're going Bateman. That's a really big win for this build. Because Bateman correlates with Najee. Because Baltimore gets Pittsburgh and Houston. So you get Najee in week 16, and then you get Houston as part of the bring back in week 17. Dobbins and Bateman are my 2 most drafted players. I'm afraid of Dobbins. I get it. Like I've drafted him a little bit, but if I get burned by a guy coming off a torn Achilles, I can live with that. That's the way I look at it. I think Raymond fits his build. I think Yeah. Elijah Moore. I cannot get myself to draft Madison. I was on a Madison kick for a little while, and I got enough of him. I mean, look, if you're fading Zamir White like I generally am, I have a maybe like 1%. Um, that's kind of the pivot. But I also think they could go out and get another running back. Another thing that I'm doing, yeah, someone said I haven't clicked Schultz once. I've only gotten him in situations like this where I have a 3 tight end build, and I have CJ Stroud. If you're getting naked Dalton Schultz, terrible, terrible idea. Awful idea. But there's obviously contingent upside, like if someone gets hurt and stuff, like late in the season, whatnot. All right, Corley's still there. I'm not up on the clock yet, but Corley's there. Javon Baker, OBJ could bring it back. All right, let's go Corley and just get kind of a jet stack without Rodgers. And then the last round, we have a choice probably of like going Raymond or something and just go with a 4 running back build, 9 wide receivers. I just don't think that Dylan Laube has enough upside as a pass catcher. And I think he might be a practice squad dude. Like I try my best to be like, I love Dylan Laube. I thought he was a really fun prospect, all of that. But I'm trying to be as reasonable as I can and put myself in the shoes of a team like the Raiders. A team like the Raiders is never going to use Laube in a high volume role. And honestly, they could use another running back in a third down role even, right? That's the logic. Whereas like Madison Shore was terrible last year, and I don't think he's like a special running back, but he's had moments in the past. Like he hasn't been totally horrific. And I think he's more of a 1-to-1 Zamir White replacement than like Laube is. I mean, I think we'd all agree on that. There goes Madison, funny enough. 20% Corley, that's more than me. I'm not super high on him as a talent. But I do think in a best ball environment, where I think he has a lot of like single touch upside, right? Like he can take anything to the house. He's got a lot of yak ability. I just don't know if he's going to play the slot consistently for them year one. But yeah, I mean, like I like where I got him past ADP, and I got him in a mini jet stack, so I'm like totally fine with that. Oh, Code Blue. I didn't realize you were actually in this. Now I see your name over here. My bad. Didn't even realize. And you're on the clock now. You better not get Khalif Raymond. You did get Baker, knowing that I would not be getting Baker. Good on you for not getting Khalif Raymond. not that you needed him in your build. All right, let's get Raymond. I don't know, guys. I kind of like this team. It's a different kind of build for a running back start. Let's recap, shall we? I got CJ Stroud, Deshaun Watson. I'm okay with that. I think some might not be that okay because they're lower on Deshaun, but I'm fine with it. I think Deshaun can be a firm QB too. Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs, Najee Harris, Blake Corum. So you get, some fragility because you only have 4 running backs, but you invested a decent amount in those running backs and you start out RB. Wide receiver, I went 9. Tank Dell, Amari Cooper, Hollywood Brown, Chris Godwin, Mike Williams, Ricky Pearsall. That brings back for Detroit with Gibbs. Williams obviously Williams and Corley are a stack with Breece Hall. Rashad Bateman's a bring back for Pittsburgh and Houston in the fantasy playoffs. Khalif Raymond, you stack that with San Francisco and Detroit. And then at tight end, we got David Njoku, Dalton Schultz, and Jonnu Smith. This is kind of a fun build. Not going to lie. I don't mind that build. What do you guys think? What should I rate it? What should I rate it when I name it? 8 out of 10? I feel like that's an 8 out of 10 build. It's pretty fun. That's one of those teams though that I'd post to Twitter. Do you think if I posted that one to Twitter that people would trash it or like it? I never know. I posted one the other day and some people were like, your running backs suck. I had Christian McCaffrey on my team. I didn't need to like go crazy at running back after getting CMC. Oh, good. Look, someone else. Josh was in the 10 hole. Appreciate you, Josh. Solid 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'm gonna probably put 8 out of 10. I don't think it's like the 9 out of 10 is what I reserve the best of the best lineups, but I think it's good. I think it's solid. Because you went 9 wide receivers, it's fine. If that was 8 wide receivers, it would be brutal. I don't know. I don't know if Khalif Raymond's going to really be the difference maker. Not enough Lawrence for Twitter to like it. Yeah, apparently. But yeah, I like the build. Hopefully you guys took something away from this. I don't think I'm going to be able to stream tomorrow just because tomorrow, for those of you who want to like a behind the scenes look, tomorrow is the day that we record Becoming a Best Ball Bro, and then it comes out on Wednesday. The following week, we're going to record on Wednesday. It's going to come out on Thursday because I have some other things going on. But yeah, that was a fun stream. I like the lineup. It was cool. I'll probably post it to Twitter just so that people can trash it. But otherwise, everyone, thanks for tuning in as always. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks to you guys who joined in and drafted a team. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys have a great Monday, and I'll talk to you soon.